I kind of wanted to watch. I think the conversation between Hasan and BadEmpanada was unbelievably long. So I kind of wanted to look at some of the highlights and then we could try listening to it or to certain sections of it.
Yeah. No, I
Like,
understand.
people in the US think that
Are you a
everyone.
Cypriot, by the way?
Are you asking this because of Drew Pavlou?
Are you a Cypriot Australian?
As far as I know, no.
What is
I mean,
your
I don't
what's
know
your
much about
ethnic
my Greek
background?
family history.
What's your ethnic background?
Greek something?
Oh,
Why are you asking?
What kind of Greek?
Greek Italian.
Oh, what? No. Which islands?
As far as I know, Anatolia and then Athens.
Okay. So you're not Cypriot.
What are you asking?
Like Drew
Yeah, you know
Pavlov.
what your people did to us in Anatolia? What did you do there?
Am I unlocking epigenetic memories right now?
Yeah, right. I have intergenerational trauma, just like the Israelis. That's why they get to do genocide. So I get to do genocide too. And you're Turkish, so you
should come to America.
Yeah. I know. The reason why I say this is because like you got two sides of the same coin. You got the Drew Pavlov and you got BadEmpanada.
Drew Pavlov is hilarious by accident. That's the problem. He thinks he's funny, like not by accident, and I can't.
It's like Ethan.
I can't let that stand.
I love Noah with in the bottom with the cat ears on. It really does feel like they're fighting for custody of Noah. I saw the Janissary meme, by the way, and it's so insane to me that people saw that and were like, I can't believe these people. This is disgusting. How dare you make jokes on the internet? Don't you know that making jokes is illegal? Hasan Piker and BadEmpanada made a joke about how they want my future son to be a janissary. Janissaries were young Christian boys kidnapped by the Ottoman Empire as a blood tax. They were forced to convert to Islam and made into military slaves. Hasan Piker is a Muslim, and I think it said like extremist or something. BadEmpanada, yeah. Like, it's just the biggest, oh my god, it's just the biggest the biggest cry bullies on the internet. It's so insane. What has been really cool, though, is that I feel like I've seen a lot of people saying that they thought that, I guess, like, BadEmpanada was malicious, and then after the conversation, they changed their mind or whatever, which is cool. Also, common Josh Curl post. Common W. BadEmpanada versus Hasan debate is why y'all's reaction to BadEmpanada criticizing Hasan pissed me off, by the way. Whether you agreed with him or not, the conversation was interesting and ultimately productive. This is the kind of thing that won't happen if you shout down every differing opinion. I mean, as long as the criticisms are genuine and it's not like the fucking losers online that anything that they get the chance to, it's just anti-Semitism. Look, here, you saying that if rapes happen, that fundamentally doesn't change whether or not you think genocide is okay. This is you doing rape denial. It's like, what? Huh? I'm willing to take any genuine criticism, right? Like, I'm willing to listen to genuine criticism between individuals. This is the most soy right shit you can write. BadEmpanada and Hasan Piker just explicitly endorsed Houthi terror attacks on civilian shipping. They're advocating for war crimes openly on stream. Hasan Piker, quote, at 2 hours and 45 minutes, I wiped my ass with the American flag. Can you imagine getting, like, offended by that statement? By someone saying, I'll wipe my ass with the American flag? That's the most soy fucking right thing you can say. To say that that's, like, an offensive statement. So, I wanted to get... The very beginning is, like, from my understanding, a little bit boring. So I wanted to get into
the time period that we
the
live
more
in,
interesting parts.
Where people were ripe to actually take risks to try and seek meaningful change. This isn't happening anymore. And it's not just the US where this isn't happening. I mean, I live in Argentina, as you so astutely said. People in Argentina just sort of do the same thing now. They just let shit happen.
1.25,
It's a poor country where people in general have less to lose. And they just sort of let themselves be experimented on like a pack of lab rats. There are people protesting against it. Those people are trying to do stuff, but most people are sort of happy to just sit back, relax, and see what's going to happen as someone tries to do to that country the same thing that has already been done to that country 50 times before and never worked in those times either.
I think part of that is also because of the treat economy. Like, Americans are pacified by the bountiful treats that they have at their disposal. So
yeah, I mean, and a part of those treats
like,
is the internet and social media as well.
That too, for sure. That's also a treat. But what I was going to say is this, okay? I fear that if the only alternative is socialism or barbarism, right? I fear that without proper political education, without any class consciousness, without any mechanisms of pushback, without any sort of like structural organizing on the labor front, that when all of this crumbles inevitably, and I do think it will, all we will have is a fascist movement, and that's already kind of happening anyway. So that's my big fear, and that's what I try to. That's why I try to do everything in my power to, one, talk to international leftist movements, regardless of how social democratically aligned they are, or even people like Mélenchon, in an effort to try to get people to organize and move in the positive direction, even if change doesn't seem immediate.
Well, I think I'm not specifically accusing you here or anything, but if there's one thing that you could do with your content that might maybe help you use the position that you're in to do something that might actually matter, it is really actually start encouraging people to work outside of the Democratic Party and lead by example as well. Like, if you're going to talk to Bernie Sanders again, scream at him in the face. Scream at him. Scream. Use that one opportunity. Like, I mean, how many more chances you can have to talk to Bernie Sanders, really, right?
He's very old. He is very old.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think I'll
screaming at him.
Okay, I don't mean like literally scream at him, but I mean get combative. Put on a public spectacle of it.
I think, well, see, that's what
give him a Kanye West. George Bush doesn't care about black people. Why not?
I think Ash Sarkar had a really productive conversation with Bernie that people use all the time, where she presented some of these questions because she had a
It's so hard too, because like you have to balance being productive with being demanding. It's a fine line. Balancing this is close to impossible. And the major disagreement that I've found with other leftists, and the major disagreement I've seen that other leftists have with other leftists, is that some people think we should go farther and some people think we should go less far. When I talk about AOC, if I talk about AOC and I'm harsh on her, people will accuse me of being too harsh on her. She's one of the few voices on the left that has significant power to actually impact change. Some people will accuse me of going in on her too hard. Same thing with Hasan. If he attacks AOC, people will accuse him of going in on her too hard. And she has so few allies that it's important that we form some coalition. The other group of leftists, the other prominent group, will say that we're not going hard enough. And it's tough because I feel both opinions very passionately, where I don't know how anyone is justifying in their head AOC not fully endorsing Zohran. This guy.
Special. For me, it's the delis and bodegas. Habibi, could I get an egg and cheese on a roll with jalapeno?
One Zohran special coming up.
Small businesses employ nearly half of all New Yorkers in the private sector. They keep the city running, but the last 4 years have been hard. We've seen the dollar slice go extinct.
Zohran is currently running for mayor in New York City. And there is no reason in my brain, there is nothing that makes sense in my head on why AOC wouldn't be publicly actively endorsing Zohran as much as she can in every way that she can.
Storefront after storefront close. And
this is a very millennial coded. Well, I think he is a millennial.
had a mayor in Eric Adams who has ignored the struggles of small businesses. That's why as mayor, I'm going to make it faster, easier, and cheaper for small businesses to get started and stay open. First, we're going to cut fines and fees for small businesses by 50%. Regulations are important, but small businesses have to navigate more than 6,000 of them, with far fewer resources than the big chains. That's why as mayor, I'll appoint a mom and pop czar with the clear goal of making it easier to run a small business. $1,000 isn't a lot to our city government, but it can be make or break for a small business trying to get off the ground. Next, we're going to accelerate permits and applications. The mom and pop czar will coordinate with agencies to speed up turnaround times, cut red tape, and let New Yorkers start businesses sooner. Because you shouldn't have to fill out 24 forms and go through 7 agencies to start a barbershop. But most of all, we're putting our money where our mouth is by increasing funding for small business support programs with 500%. We're going to invest $20 million in our...
Mom and pop shops can get fucked. Okay, low-key, I agree and disagree with you. Because, like, I don't mean to do the New Yorker thing, but, like, bodegas are amazing. All right? They are actually amazing. And the reality is, the problem is never regulations. The problem is how slow government policy is. It's not that we shouldn't have government IDs or something, right? It's not that you shouldn't have to make sure that you get all of your registration approved and renewed. That's not the problem. The problem is that going to the DMV and waiting hours is a total fucking waste of my time. Yeah, it's like when you have the opportunity to run your business the way you want to run it, you either go like, I want to play the fucking epic rap battles. When you get the opportunity to run your business exactly how you want to run it, you either recognize, because you've been in a position where you've been abused by your employers for so long, that you're like, actually, I want to run a business that isn't a total shit show, that actually treats its workers with respect. Or you just do this.
I am Adolf Hitler, command of the Third Reich. Little known fact, also don't.
That is the only path that you have as a small business owner. As a small business owner, you're either like the harshest, cruelest fucking dictator that threatens all of your employees the second that they ask for any time off, or like you're a reasonable human being that's like, oh yeah, man, yeah, your mom's like sick, it's okay. We'll find somebody else to fill the shift. And it's the same thing with streamers. When you get to run your stream and you're not beholden to like CNBC, or you're not beholden to like MTV standards, you either use your platform to, at worst, be a little edgy and say, I wipe my ass with the American flag, but otherwise try and raise money for charity, otherwise try and highlight stories from people who otherwise don't necessarily have a voice or a platform, or you just become like the fucking French racker where you're like, actually, what if I sig heil on stream and say the most racist shit possible? Why do I feel like you have mad experience in the restaurant domain? I worked at a bakery once for a couple months, and it was actually, I had a small business tyrant. But I had a lot of friends who worked in food service, and I had a lot of friends who worked in the service industry, and I saw the toll it took on them. I had a friend who worked in retail, and she would go home every night and like cry because she hated her job so much. Because she worked this grueling fucking job, and she had to deal with the worst employees, the worst boss, and the worst, coworkers, not employees, and the worst customers. And she would literally go home and cry with how much she hated her job. And I was like, wow. And that's when I became radicalized and was like, if you work a customer-facing job, you should have a taser. The state should allow you to tase really annoying customers. With warning. Okay, I'm not unreasonable. Like Miranda rights. You as a customer should live in fear of the average retail worker. And when you're getting too annoying, the worker should be allowed to tell you, I am hereby issuing you a warning that if you continue on this behavior, I will tase you. And you as a customer, if you decide I'm going to keep being annoying and berating you, that's your risk to take, man. The saying is the customer is always right in matters of taste. Guess what? You go into a nail salon and you say, this is what I want. The customer's always right in matters of taste. Give them what they want. That's what they want. Give it to them. It doesn't mean the customer's always right, period. By the way, this is a public service announcement. If you are going to the DMV and not making an appointment, you are a psychopath, okay? If you go to unless you're going somewhere really nice, unless you're going to like the one good DMV in the United States, make a fucking appointment, okay? You will save hours in your day. Raw dogging the DMV is the most insane thing you can do. I went in to get like my license renewed, and let me just say, there for an hour with an appointment. And the guy next to me said he was there for 3 hours, and I got seen before he did for the same thing. Okay, don't raw dog the DMV. Please make an appointment. Please make an appointment. And I will say one other thing. Not all DMVs should be treated equally. The extra star on that DMV is worth it. Also, this is a public service announcement right now. Go get a binder. Go get a waterproof binder and put all of your important documents in it. One, it's really good for emergencies, so you can take it whenever you need it. But two, whenever you go to the DMV, you can just take it with you, all right?
Business Express service teams, which pair small businesses with a city case manager that helps them navigate permits and regulations, as well as connecting them with programs that provide them with financial and legal assistance. Right now, only 3% of businesses are using these programs. We want that number to skyrocket. The only thing more New York than an egg and cheese are the small businesses that make them. Together, we can not only protect them, but encourage new ones to make a home in our city.
We'll get back to the video.
A longer, like an opportunity to have a longer conversation with him. If I'm not
have that with you, you're way bigger than her.
Yeah, I think because he's had that conversation once already, he's probably a little bit more worried. Or, I mean, I don't think he would run away from having that conversation with me either. But yeah, no, I think that it's important to ask these questions. I don't think it's unproductive. That was never my.
I don't think it's that important to talk to him about Israel specifically, because obviously he's steadfast in that.
Well, I did bring up
the most
the
important
third party
thing to do would be the third party thing, and
no, I did ask him that.
Did you?
Yeah, that was the other. Because those were my two main questions. Was like, what kind of initiatives does he want to? The three questions I have for Bernie and for AOC in general, but like especially for Bernie, were do you think that we could build a robust third party movement in this country, and like what are the steps to take to do so? And then the other question was obviously going to be about like what are the direct actions that they want to engage with in terms of tackling the issue of like how this administration is using Israel as a way to undermine the First Amendment, because that is precisely what's happening. Like I am trying to frame it I'm trying to frame these questions, or try to get people to ask these questions within the framework of American understanding, like recognizing the selfishness of the average American, recognizing American exceptionalism and American individualism. I think that those are areas that bear fruit. That's something that creates a lot of resentment for average Americans, because like, other than that, they're like, okay, Israel's killing a bunch of Muslims over there. Sure, it seems kind of fucked up, but the way to get Americans, the way to engage Americans on this issue, the best possible way to do that is by, one, talking about tax dollars being spent there, because they're very selfish, and that's something that pisses them off. And two, talk about how this foreign nation has an incredible amount of power over American politics, and that the current administration is using defending Israel as a way to erode civil liberties that Americans enjoy. So that's what I'm trying to do.
I feel like if you appeal to people on the basis of their selfishness, then you're going to have to keep engaging with them on that basis. And,
no, that's just to broach the conversation, to open up the door to.
Okay, but you broach the conversation, right? So it's kind of like you're intentionally approaching it from a position that you yourself don't really believe is the right way to do it. And I think that makes things more difficult for you down the line as well. Or at least maybe not you specifically, like, this is how you engage as a broader movement, like as a intentional strategy among many different people in groups, engaging people in this way. Like, hey, Israel is bad because we spend a ton of money on it and we don't get enough back in return. Okay, then what happens if there is another instance of imperialism? Well, yeah, I know that's not what you mean, but that's sort of the message that you're saying to people when you're like, okay, we send these tax dollars to Israel. They could go to Medicare. In the USA, we could have universal healthcare instead of that, or whatever. Okay, It's that sort of thing. Like, you're appealing to the innate American selfishness that all of them are born with due to their innate Americanness. I agree with that part. So, like, you engage with them on that level. And I feel like you're starting from a position that makes it a lot more difficult for you to get through to them from there and get them onto like a right path where they might actually do something meaningful. And this is ultimately why you should give up on Americans and leave.
I'm not going to do that until.
You're gonna,
who knows what'll happen? Who knows what'll happen? If my former podcast co-host gets his wishes, I'll probably be in fucking jail. I'll probably be under the jail expeditiously.
They're going to be looking for you in the satellite images of Cesar.
Yeah, he's hell bent on sending me to CCOT for sure. But look, even the very fact that like the disgusting ways in which like many people here look at this issue from the framework of drama, like grievances between content creators, like that shit destroys my soul. It's soul destroying. Seeing that and seeing all these like right wing reactionaries join in on the fun as well after spending years and years of like saying anti-Semitic shit about Ethan and calling Gila Klein a horse. They've all now seemingly united.
She's a horse, though.
All of the okay, see, this is what I mean. I don't like.
This is why people like BadEmpanada.
I don't do that. Okay, this is the.
Maybe you should. Maybe you should be mean.
No, I don't. Well, first of all, I am mean, but not as mean as you are, and I don't think that's productive. Oh, you want to talk about disagreements? We're both communicators, and our goal is to get people on board. Right? That's your goal.
My goal is to make money.
Shut the fuck up.
Why
don't you become transphobic and become like a fucking right winger?
Oh, I have a niche I'm expected to. It's like, you have a nice bakery, you bake more bread. You don't branch out. Otherwise, you end up like Elon Musk with 5,000 different companies that all fucking blow.
Okay, but at a time when no one is fucking eating bread and everyone seemingly wants to eat donuts, if you already had the equipment, then you would make donuts. And I think you and I both know that there's a reason why you don't make donuts.
I don't know. I mean, I am honest about the things I say, and people for some reason want to see me say them to some degree. So it's like, okay, I already got it. I don't need to branch out. I don't need to start screeching about the
I think you and I both know where this line of questioning is heading, and that's why you're saying what you're saying.
Where is it heading?
I think. Look,
I wasn't thinking that far ahead.
Okay, well, I think we
don't think that far ahead. I think
you're very smart, and I think you're very well read, and I really like a lot of the YouTube videos and the thought and effort that you put into crafting your YouTube essays. I think they're incredibly well sourced, and
No,
What?
say thank you first.
But
Well,
Where's the
no,
but?
there is not even a but. It's just that I think sometimes, as someone who's also in
This
the
is a but.
same in the same sphere as you, okay, I think you sometimes get in your own way by presenting yourself a certain way, especially considering that our worldview is something that people, especially in the Western world, are very hostile towards. I think sometimes you get in your own way a little bit with the way you act. You act like a left book guy in a world where
can I have an example?
So many examples. I think you are you take a tone sometimes that is perhaps a little too mean. It shuts them off from actually seeing your commentary. You troll a little too.
Is BadEmpanada autistic or just weird? No, I think he represents a portion of the left that is tired of civility, that's just exhausted dealing with bad faith actors and letting them have all of the fun. Like, it's insane. It's like, it's actually insane that people like Ethan Klein, people like Asmongold, just like people on the right in general, that they are such big cry bullies, that they feel like they have the moral authority to make any judgments that they want on other people. But the second you make any criticism of them, it's unfair, unwarranted, uncalled for. When I covered Asmongold's commentary on Palestine, on Gaza, talking about inferior cultures or whatever, months ago when he got banned, before that, I said on my stream, I was like, I am in awe actually that Twitch allows this behavior. Like, that's kind of crazy. But I mean, I don't write the Twitch TOS, whatever. If Twitch think this is fine, this is fine. And I was getting tagged so often of people being like, she's trying to get him banned, she's trying to get him banned. She's trying to get him. It's like, what the fuck? I didn't even say that. All I said was, I can't believe Twitch allows this, which, surprise, by the way, they don't allow this. And then what? When Hasan makes a tweet saying, I'm not joking, I would kill myself if I woke up as Asmongold. And now they're pretending like that's him threatening Asmongold and telling Asmongold to kill himself. Like, what world do we live in where when somebody else treats you the same way that you treat other people, it's a threat? It's violence from the left. It's unacceptable behavior. But if you do the same thing, it's totally justified all the time. Is this what an actual debate looks like? These guys seem to respect each other. Where's the blood sport? Where are the clips? Well, I think it's because they agree. And I've said this on my stream many times because I've watched BadEmpanada's criticisms of Hasan. But like, they agree on, in terms of actual policies, they agree. It's in terms of strategy that they disagree. Hasan believes in some level of civility politics, and BadEmpanada doesn't. And I've met leftists on both sides of the spectrum. I've met leftists who fundamentally feel a kinship to BadEmpanada because they think we need to stop with the civility politics completely, entirely. And I've also met other people that are on the Hasan side. But I also, again, think that, like, it's good to have both. We need people to call out the hypocrisy of the soy right. And we need people to show them what that's like. But also, I think it's good to have a side that is considered normal and acts normal.
A lot of those people are already not open to being initiated.
See, I think that's
You have
defeatist.
too much faith.
I think that's defeatist.
Well, I don't think it's defeatist at all, because I think perhaps we can win without them. I think we do not need to appeal to, like, Burger American, Asmongold viewer, number 8,002 million. Asmongold, by the way, I think his audience is way more indicative of the average American than yours, sadly. But
for sure. Yes,
like,
and no.
I'm also not American. I'm not really trying to, like, appeal to a specific audience at all. You know, I boot up my stream or whatever, or I write a script or whatever, and it's just whatever I feel like talking about, really. And this has sort of generated an audience, and I talk about these things out of interest more so than specifically, like, trying to appeal to, like, say, Westerners and get them to my side or whatever. I think in a lot of cases, like, given the fact that I am not actually that big of an internet personality, I'm very niche in reality. I think that exposing people to, like, even if it is by accident, like, exposing people to, like, sort of uncompromising, just tell them what I really think about something, and, like, be a cunt about it sometimes, might be more effective than you give it credit for. Because ultimately, when everyone else is walking on eggshells, maybe having someone who can cut through or is more willing to, like, just be blunt about it is needed sometimes.
For sure. I don't even think that you and I are in disagreement on any of the major points that you've brought up. I guess maybe the only one would be, like, the framework of, like, I work with like liberal Zionists or something, which we can talk about, but let's shelf that for a brief moment. The thing I'm thinking of is like they say what I'm saying to you is so silly for me to say, because that's exactly what people say to me all the fucking time, right? But I don't think the people that say that to me
you can throw anything you've heard about me, throw it at me. I love it. It's fun for me. I don't know. Like I was streaming the other day, and people were like, "Yo, Hasan's talking about you," and I'm like, "Who fucking goaded him into doing that?"
Yeah, it's just it's annoying because like you're not someone that I consider to be an ideological enemy at all. Which is why I don't even think it's like productive to be like, you did this, you did that, because it comes across as scoldy and silly, and then people will use that against you or use that against me in the future as well. But I guess like it's shit. Like I understand the point that you were making when you were doing the Alexa Flood game on Steam that you were playing. Like I understand the broader point that you're making. This game was something that my chat wanted me to play a long ass time ago, like far before October 7, because I think it was out, or a different version of that game was out in the past, where it's flipping the script on Call of Duty, right? Because like it's totally fine when you play Call of Duty. Nobody even thinks it's political. They think it's apolitical unless there's a woman operator. But when you flip the script and you give the guns in the hands of like Hamas operatives or Palestinian resistance groups, and all of a sudden it's considered to be completely unacceptable and very dangerous.
Let me explain what happened there, okay? So Ethan he misconstrued a clip where I was in that game, and the AI in that game is it's either the AI is very good or it's very bad, and by that I mean I don't know if the designer intended for the opponents to be really stupid or not. So like my first experience in that game is like I walk up to 2 Israeli soldiers right next to them and they don't react, and I said, "Are these a bunch of Ethan Kleins on an Ozempic binge? Like, as in, are these fucking morons? Are they high on like drugs?" And Ethan Klein took that and he's like, he was saying this is me. He was saying this is me and simulating killing me. That's the sort of thing that he was referring to in that.
I think you can understand how that could be misconstrued, considering that the entire thing that you're engaging in is already considered like.
I think it was hilarious. You're laughing, don't lie.
Well, no, I'm just saying that like when you do that, people are going to, so many people that would otherwise like listen to the bountiful information that you are presenting on your normal YouTube essays are going to be like, this is a scary guy, and I don't even know if I can entertain this at all. And
I feel like that's like a hypothetical guy, though. Like you saying so many people, I'm like, yeah, maybe some, but like how many?
I think, Jen, look, if someone is put off by me playing a video game where you kill IDF soldiers, and they think about like, they see Ethan Klein saying some shit about me, like, oh, he tried to kill me in the video game or whatever, and they just take it at face value and write me off forever.
But that's
and they just write me off forever because of that. Like, honestly, I don't think I had any chance of reaching those people ever in the first place.
That's not true.
That sort of person is not going to sit through a BadEmpanada video essay.
No, you're wrong. You're 100%
and they
wrong
will
about that.
immediately tap out.
Here we go.
You're 100% wrong about that.
I think it's just true. Like, there's a lot of people who I think, like the average Asmongold viewer, for example, that's millions of people. That's a way bigger audience than yours, sadly. Why are you flexing, Noah? Jesus.
I was stretching.
I don't have guns to show off like you. It's not fair.
No, I don't. No, I've been doing push-ups for my stream, so it's okay.
That's impressive.
The average Asmongold fan is either a fucking rabid neo-Nazi, as I found out earlier today, or the absolute dumbest person you've ever encountered. That's not what I'm talking about. And I'm not even saying like, oh, engage in like civility politics. I'm just saying that there's, I
do think there is a secret third group of Asmongold fans who are just there for the shit show. Like, they don't care what they're watching. They don't care about any of the politics. Like, they are, in their brains, they're apolitical. They're wrong, but they think they're apolitical. They're there for the journey. They're kind of there to just watch the world burn. It's a Bloodsport viewer. Not even like Drama Frog or necessarily Bloodsport, but I mean, you guys have probably run into these people in the real world where they have convinced themselves that they don't have to care. Those are the stupid ones Hasan mentioned. No, it's a different group of people. It's a different group. I think that there are distinct groups. I think there are people who are genuinely dumb and they think that Trump will save the universe and he's going to save this country and the tariffs are an excellent strategy deal. Like, people who fundamentally do not understand politics, who fundamentally do not understand how Trump's policies have been bad, how there is not a single thing that Trump has done so far that has actually benefited the American people in a meaningful way. Sorry, and by American people, I am not talking about billionaires here. And then there are like the actual Nazi fucks. And then there's a third group of people that are apathetic and have convinced themselves that politics are not something that you need to care about. It's just another type of reality TV to enjoy. And I think, me personally, I think those people are reachable. Because you know what, man? Caring is actually cool. Not caring is fucking cringe. There is not a single cool person who just doesn't care about anything.
A broader audience that you absolutely could inform and potentially even radicalize if you were to soften your approach a little bit more. That's all I'm saying. But then again,
Maybe, but
that's why I always say, like, look,
I've also grown a
and I
fucking
don't.
ton recently, so I'm not
And
sure.
also,
Thank you,
I say, I always say, BadEmpanada and I don't disagree on our ultimate goals. We just disagree on methods, and that's it. So I'm just telling you, like, that's I would
I think in
maybe not
response
do
to
some of
that
those
one
things.
specific point, I think when you water down your rhetoric in a way where you were kind of talking to people and advocating for things that you might not actually believe in yourself, just as a way of getting their foot in the door, you are sort of bringing people into wrong ideas and the things that you yourself know are wrong as well, in hopes that maybe later on you'll be able to get through to them with something that is right. And maybe that isn't the right way to go about things.
Not necessarily. I think you and I think you're I think you can make a much more coherent and clear point about how, like, I'm not even saying don't play the game at all. I'm simply saying that, like, you're not broaching.
The game isn't like actionable on YouTube. You're allowed to play this game totally.
No,
fine.
I understand.
What happened is Ethan literally sent an email to his own personal YouTube rep and got the video taken down. That's what happened.
Yeah, he definitely is not the biggest free speech defender, as we've found out.
In general, though, I just want to say this, like, on stream, don't be afraid of him, because I can tell you he has been doing that with every single one of my videos, every single.
I'm not afraid of him at all.
Other people's
You're gonna pay him a
videos
legal
not
fees, right,
you, not
Hasan?
you. Just in general, to anyone watching who might make content about Ethan or
Hasan?
this. Ethan complains about your videos to his YouTube rep
Hasan?
every time. And the only time it's ever worked was that one video, and it just got taken down. I didn't face
Why do
any
you think that
consequences.
video? Why do you think that video worked?
Because, like, he made the argument that I was simulating violence against him. That was why.
And that's my point.
That was the one case where his YouTube rep was like, okay, we'll give you this one, man.
Like, I think you'd be a beneficial voice to have on Twitch or even on other platforms. But there's a reason why you can't get unbanned on Twitch, even though
honestly, I think your attachment to Twitch is erroneous. You should be on YouTube primarily. It's way bigger.
Yeah, but that's a different.
Unfortunately, if Hasan is as brain broken as I am about Twitch, it's the chat. I can't ever truly leave Twitch chat behind. Even when I eventually do start to dual stream, which it's on my to-do list to get that started up, I don't plan on reading YouTube chat. I'm sorry. YouTube chat, so much YouTube chat is a cesspool. There's like 1 or 2 normal people in there, and that's it. I'm not reading YouTube chat. I'll multi-stream, but I'm not reading YouTube chat. I'm sorry. Do political streamers do well on YouTube? Yeah, I mean, streaming in general does really well on YouTube, because if someone is subscribed to your page, it'll automatically promote that video, or sorry, the live stream when you're live. Oh, Mitchell R. Yeah, I do. One of the best parts of streaming is chat, objectively.
Subject. I mean, I
also
Will you link the video? Yeah, of course. Also, like, again, I agree with, I've seen a lot of people offering different opinions on this conversation that the two of them had, but I agree with both perspectives. Like, I think that, it's just that I think that different strategies work for different people, and multiple strategies are only a good thing. I don't think that the left benefits from only having one type of strategy to bringing people towards the left. I think that there are a lot of people that are so disillusioned by politics that they need an extreme voice, like BadEmpanada, to feel like that's someone that actually is fighting for change for them. And I think anyone who wouldn't be interested in you because, sorry, if you were BadEmpanada, people wouldn't want to watch you. There's a good chance that they weren't going to watch you anyways, because you're not going to hold back on your opinions on these things. So you shouldn't care about the hypothetical viewer that maybe would have or wouldn't have watched you. In like the same sort of vein, I don't care about the people who aren't going to watch me because of superficial reasons, like the unironic comments about like the one shirt, why does she only wear these type of clothing, which it's not even true, but it doesn't even matter whether it's true or not. All it makes me want to do is double down. It's like, actually, no, I want to be more scantily clad, because if you weren't going to watch me because of something I was wearing, you weren't going to watch me, period. You're just coming up with an excuse as to why you don't want to. I don't give a fuck what your opinion is. Your brain is too broken. You're just finding a reason why. And I wasn't going to appeal to you ever. Please comment. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Please like the video. Times 100. Please do that. It takes 2 seconds.